Hello, welcome to the tutorial of this door behind me, the 1980 block 7x7 Observerless. Yeah, this is it. I'm doing an explanation. So yeah, this is the door, 1000, that big, 20 high, 9 deep and 11 long, are the dimensions. Yeah, it's quite fast, I think. Bottom isn't the fastest on the close, but oh well. I'm pretty sure it's also sync too, which is quite nice on the last move. So, I guess we can look around. It's all right size, all right speed, and I'm making this video for one person, so I hope they watch it. So, as I said, it's 20 high, 90, 11 long. So you dig 5 blocks down, you also need 6 blocks going up. The door is centered in the width. There's 5 to this way, 3 to that way. And yeah, so you'll need 123 sticky pistons, 12 normal pistons, 152 redstone dust, 114 repeaters, 13 redstone blocks, 12 torches, 36 comparators, 26 hoppers, 25 droppers, 3 powered rails or that other type of rail, activator rail for updating, 3 tripwires which are redirectors, they could probably be other things, 1 chest, 7 furnaces. This can be any container really, just needs to be able to put a item in, item out, so you can do a barrel or something. For the wiring you will need exactly 100 input blocks. Well, you will need around this many items. This corner of the bottom was changed, so now you need a slider, and this bit's a bit cheaper. Anyway, so that's wrong, but you need around 407 building blocks. None of these have to be transparent really, but these do, I think. Actually, this doesn't, because that's also been changed. Yeah, this is wrong. 5 immovables, 27 slabs, I think. Yeah, I think the slabbage is the same. 1 less white wool, if you're picky. And the door blocks is the same, and that is 76. So you need 47 non-stackables, 9 stackables. Just double check, that's 47. Yep. For all the containers. Scrap that, you need 1 more because I added that. Yeah. Oh, I'm really annoyed I forgot to change it. Oh well, that's the stuff you need roughly. So we can start with the layout and inputs, which is white wool. This door is also 1.5 plus, hopefully it doesn't use any components after 1.5, but I haven't actually tested it in 1.5. You need a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a quint, like so, add 2 storage. It's too far. And fill that up. So that's the top layout, except the inputs are wildly different. Well, not that much, but oh, you have redstone blocks here which get pushed out in by these doubles, and the inputs for these are there, there. Update pistons, I don't know where they're meant to go. Actual door, but they should work for now. I haven't actually memorised this door much. These are pretty standard stuff. And you have updater here, I think, and one here. No, you don't have. Ooh. We'll get to that when we get to it. But what you definitely need, 2 rails here as an updater, and some updaters down there. Anyway, the bottom input is a quad, loads of quads. How normal 7x7 works. 3 storage. Normally bottom storage is a bit different on Obverless than Obful, but here it isn't. And bottom is pretty standard too. And then you need some row of immovables there, so that piston doesn't push across. This, I think, this is going to be off of that way for later. And, well, we'll do that when we get to it. So that's the inputs, and then we do tape is a bit different because we have that there like so. No, actually do like grey glass there, and then we need to fill in those blocks. So just quickly, I'm going to fill these. Yep. So I'm going to start with the top, because the bottom needs the top to work, the top doesn't really need the bottom to work. So I guess before anything, I should, sorry if you can hear banging in the background, to probably put the redstone block double in, because it's quite a neat circuit. If I can place it. That's it. Power that. And then it retracts. Torch doesn't take in 1 tick, so this doesn't clock. It's just mono. Not that complicated. So we should start on the close and add the updaters in while I remember. There is one there, and this one is over on this side. So have that there. Our first redirector, you can make it a lightning rod if you want. If you don't want that supporting block, you can make a trap chest. Anything, I'm using this. Then that goes down there. So the way we power this storage is by your standard like 3x3 closed circuit. So what this does is it 1 ticks and does that. And then the way we power this is like that. So now I have that, and then that retracts. but that won't actually be used to retract in the actual thing. Yeah. So I guess the first thing we need is, after this one ticks, we need to one tick this. That's a slab because of those. Never mind, it's a repeater, and dust like that. This goes off. Well, this will be yellow now. Purple. What's this? Magenta is the storage. Yellow is like the rest of the clothes. So that does our one tick, and then we need to do. Oh, sorry. And then also this, I guess, goes here with furnace. Just knife them in with piston coming down here. That gets bad like that. That does the storage, which we then do that, and it does the extension. But you see, it went horribly wrong. Oh no. Well, first I place that back. You'll see it went wrong like this, but because of timings that won't happen in the door. Makes the double a lot easier. Ta-da! And then this retracts instantly after, well, this retracts after one tick. This happens a bit later. So the way so that does that, and then we need to one tick, which happens from here. We take this out like that. I think that means this needs to be the slab. And that does the one tick. Like so. And then the top storage, I can just do it now. It's 3 tick and a 4 tick. And I'm saying that should be purple. And the way we power this is, we can't power this because then it goes into the input block. And we can't put a dust here because it powers that. So instead, put a comparator here, and we make this hard power that, get rid of that, make this a furnace, and I'd put 2 non-stackables in. That's probably more than enough signal strength, but whatever. And this also is kind of the refire circuit as well, because what the refire circuit does is it one ticks, does that storage, and then does the quint. And what we need to do now is do this, and then the quint, and the one tick, which we've already done. So so the refire comes in from here, which I think is purple, and then this is color coded as the refire circuit. This goes down into here. That needs to be a slab. That should probably be like that. And then we get a comparator. And oh no, wrong thing. Well, you just saw it. I think that's a dust. Oh, that's a one tick. So we need the comparator to filter out this mono from here. And this just goes up as the comparator. And that is nearly the whole close and start of open done. But the way we power the quint is with a torch here. And if we power this, torch goes off, as you can see, turns on and then off again. And that on powers the quint, which means the quint will go too quickly. which means we then stick a slider here, solid block there, and 2 pushing blocks. That can actually be down there, I think. Actually no, because this. And that just keeps this on until this pushes up again. Which is nice. So that's that circuit done. Now the fun part of the top, which is the quint. But first, before we make the quint, we have to make a few like sub-circuits in the quint. So the blue circuit, which is kind of like a double. So this powers, and then we do the blue circuit, which one ticks this, or powers this, powers that, turns that off, and then double pulses that. So, and it takes a 3-tick input from there. No. There's a 3-tick there. This is the input. It goes up into some torches. Actually goes there. So the input, you need to input it with a 3-tick, and that. Forget that. This goes up into a 1-tick. That goes into a 2-tick. That goes there. And that, like that, to block that, so when this powers, this won't power. And as you can see, maybe, I know what I'll do. It does that sort of thing. So that's that. It does the double, and now we need to double pulse this, which is done. Does that, I think. It should do anyway. And that eventually runs into a double pulse. Yeah, okay, finally. So, if we power this, it does a bunch of stuff, and that's very useful. And also what we should do quickly now is a dropper hopper circuit. So, first thing we need is, well, what it does is it powers here, because it needs to be in the middle, because the max signal strength you can get in a hopper is 3 with 1 item, which is an unstackable, which we get through here. And then just have a hopper loop like that with, so with that. So the blue powers, I think, 3 times per quad. And this needs 3 stations, but there are only 2 droppers, except this doesn't count as a station because it gets powered as soon as an item gets into it. But these 2 being locked count as like stations in the loop. And that, if we put an item in, well, it will be there when this thing needs to power. And what that does is it does that extra move, if you saw, and ends up here. So what we also use this for is as a pulse extender here, which I will explain right now actually, because it is double time, because every time the blue powers, it needs to power the double, apart from once, which is what this comparator is for. So if we get the way we power the double is with a slider So you get furnace, and fill that up with some unstackables because we've got comparator here, and that just switches double on, off, and make this a furnace actually with an item in it. And comparator on subtract mode there. What have I placed? And a 4-tick. So when the double powers, this switches off, which means this torch switches on, which means we have our double. Now the only thing left is to, when the double's extended, is to pulse these pistons so the resin blocks get pushed down. So we do that by just here. This is on a slab. Oh, the reheater locking is to pulse extend this. Well, I haven't really explained this, have I? So this, the loop goes round, and once every 3 times or 4 times it powers that. Same with that. Yeah. I think that's, you can work the rest out if you're smart. So then we actually have this on here, like so. And what that does is if we put item in, does that. So you also see powers again, which is extremely problematic in a later move. So what we need to do is we stick a comparator, 1-tick, 2-tick, and a block. And what that does is the comparator filters out the 1-tick from here, and it just keeps this extended. So if we make that a lamp and that a lamp, you'll see when this does its 1-tick, this is still on, which means this can't only powers once because it gets refired from the 1-tick, but if it's on whilst the 1-tick powers, then it can't power again. And the way we power the double is with drop a hopper here with an item in, and then torch it, dust, and 3-tick repeater. So items there. Oh, and then this is where, and on one time we don't want the double to power, which is also conveniently the time when there's an item going through here, which we stick into here. Forget about that. Which just keeps this powered, which stops this powering. Except this also powers. Just unplugged my headphones. Which also. Except this pulse is too quick. So by the time that retracts, this hasn't tried to power yet, which means we need short pulse extender here. As you see, that torch buds that. So that's very useful. So we do the quint sequence. You power that, and it does that. This updates that, and as you can see, the double comes in just in time, so that can't be any quicker, which means this has to be slow. And then we power this again. It does that move. And while we do that, we power that and power this, and then these pistons get powered by the double just finishing having retracted, which is also, and then that retracts, then that retracts, which is why this can't double pulse, because then these pistons here, and they've been pushed down, will get powered by that and that. It's just too long of a pulse, and there's no space to fit extra delay up in the circuit which powers this and that. And then we power this once more, and it finishes from this going through here, ending up there, which is very nice. And at the same time we power this, an item goes through here which blocks this, and that's the quint sequence. And now we do like quint control. So this is cyan, and well, do light blue first. So this is the start of the quint. 1 dropper hopper, which actually needs an item like so. This goes up into there, which just one takes that straight away. It also goes into this mono stable, and the reason why we need mono is because this is 3.5 ticks. This needs a 3-tick pulse, otherwise it breaks. So what that does is it powers this for the first time, and then we need to power this again after some delay without powering that. So the way we do it is by powering this line with signal strength of 1. And this is also where first cyan comes in. So that's just cyan for now. Dropper with unstackable in it. This is important-ish. That needs an unstackable. And this is block because it buds a piston down here for the side pistons. And then we also need to get an output from here. You put 25 items in, which is signal strength of 3, if I'm not mistaken. It means we can subtract, or 2. We get signal strength of 2 maybe, which means that subtracts it. Because this gets powered straight away, and obviously we don't want that to refire because that'd be too quick. So when the item leaves here, it goes into here, which powers a dropper hopper over here with 1 item in because we don't want signal strength 3. So that only goes into here, which is quite nice. And the way we power that is with a tripwire like that. No. Right. No, there's nothing there. That's the item always starts here at the start of the quint. If you need to reset it. So when the quint powers, this goes here, setting this sort of refire up, because the reason why we need this, not just an input into there, is because this gets powered by the thing that gets refired, so it would create a clock if we didn't have this sort of circuit. And if you hadn't guessed already, that's how we do it. So this can be the input to the quint. Powers the top pistons, and then the blue circuit, pink, blue again, pink. And while we're at it, this bit also went through tons of remaking. Okay. We get this. That's like that, and then we put 1 tick into there. This powering this block doesn't matter because this will be on anyway, and it just powers these, which updates the pistons down here. And then the next bit, which is kind of the very specific hard timings of the quint, is we have to power that, do that, power that, and that. Perfect timings. And this is cyan. This was a really painful circuit. And how it starts is a thing like this, because we need quite a long pulse into it. So firstly it 1 ticks, and then goes into a 3 tick. So this will be like that, and that's what that does. And the way we get this to pulse is we stick 2 repeaters there, and this goes like that and retracts, except as you can see, those power way too quick, so we push in this block later. What we also do is go to the slab, 4-tick there, which pushes that in and also updates that to push it back. So you get a good angle. Does that? That's what it does. And because you saw these pistons here got powered for, I think it was like 4 ticks or something, not very long, which means they push these down, which means these need to be powered by that and not that and that, which is why we need this part of the pink circuit, because if we don't have that part of the pink circuit, this will also power, being these powered for a long time. These will retract too quick and will end up like that. And if you're like, just make this pulse longer, well, can you see a good way of doing it? Because I can't. And I tried. So, if we reset this, so yeah, if we power this at the perfect time, it will do the right thing, except we need to power that, and that was also, this was also pain, because I needed to 3-tick this somehow and be able to power that, and I can't put repeater there, so I had to put repeater here, and I was planning on doing that, but it didn't work, so we are stuck with that. Which, whew, I'm tired. Which gets powered by a block being pushed by this 4-tick over here. And we get that by having a dropper hopper here, which gets the signal through. Except this only has to power once, and this powers 3 times or 4. Which means we have this big cyan circuit here, which can probably be compacted. What it does is it pushes this out of the way when we don't want it. So, take output from here. Sadly, this powers the first time the blue circuit powers, and that means we need a lot of delay before retracting that. So we get that by getting a 4-tick. This bit's a bit confusing. Into a block, into a piston, into that. This is the hopper. To a locked repeater, which means we need a furnace with an item in. That powers whatever goes here, which is a dropper with 3 hoppers adding delay, which then goes into there like so. Well, hopper can be here or there, doesn't matter. Into a 1-tick there, I'm pretty sure. And what that will do is retract this at the perfect time, so this powers, so it retracts at the perfect time, so it retracts it when this powers and on the 3rd time, and that goes through here, powers that at the perfect time. So, time for some breathing space. Well, I don't know how we can make these barriers. You might be able to see a bit better. So I'll do it in slow-mo. And I'll even get rid of these. So, don't know where I just cut from, but I got talked to by my dad whilst I was in the middle of explaining this. So we're going to do it all over again, and then I'll have to go, I guess. So power that. Light blue 1 tick happens, blue circuit happens, pink happens, updaters happen, blue happens again, and look at the top there. As pink happens, that top 1 ticks powers that, and just as the double's retracting, that creates a 0 tick, I guess. And that all happens. I know, isn't that crazy? And then all we have to do is power the blue circuit, which, because of the dropper there, here, does that again and blocks the double. So the way we do that is with a comparator there, and I was complaining before about how it was really hard to power this, but I think that just put a redstone block, 1 tick and a 4 tick, I think. No, 2 4 ticks. Well, it could be a 1 tick and a 4 tick, but this makes it sync with the bottom. And that is the whole top, and that gets powered from the blue circuit, goes to this block. So now, hopefully, that's the whole quint. Yeah, that last bit can be a lot faster. But I didn't make it faster because it's also sync, and yeah. So that's the top quint. Now the rest of the top is the refire, and I guess top part of the red circuit, which I can't do now because I have to go and eat dinner. That's a lie. It's really quick, and I hope my dad doesn't get mad at me. Refire here, unstackable there. Comparator, move that unstackable down before placing this 3 tick. Is it a 3 4 tick? This can also be a 1 tick, I think, maybe. And that goes through here and does the whole refire. So if I replace these, place all of these, go all along here, place those, make those white walls so it looks normal. This item's here, this item's here. We press go, and then this happens. First quint goes, bottom pushes up via the tape, and that is a bit slow. Refire is also a bit slow. It refires the quint, and ta-da, we're done. The way this works is first time it powers the bottom. So first time it powers, there's an item in here, goes through, second time powers this and then this, which means the item goes through here and doesn't go and create a clog. I'm back, it's the next day, and time to explain, hopefully, the whole bottom, but I don't have much time today, so I've immediately forgotten everything. So we have well, first we need to power this, and first thing that powers on the bottom is this, and it gets powered from the standard dual monostable here. Powered by that and that. And the input means we need to 4 tick this, because all that does power that twice. The way we 4 tick it is with these two, like that. Never mind, it's that, with an updated piston down here. And this gets powered by, this is on, and then it goes off and on, like so. That gets powered by this dual mono. Does that. because we need dust and a block. There we go. On the closing, this starts quick. On the opening, it waits a bit, which means we need a hopper timer. Standard hopper timer. With this being locked. And then put 6 items in. And the way you power that with a torch and a 4-tick. So switch this on, the first item will come in, that will switch on really quick. When it goes the other way, we'll have to wait for 6 items to leave and then that will switch off. So the way you power this with a dust repeater, dust like so. This is perfect timing because it means the first storage is retracted nearly, might tick perfectly, I think, maybe close to that anyway, and it means the top powers the tape and that can't be changed in terms of delay much, so that's also quite nice. Anyway, so that's that, and then while we're at it we might as well do the side pistons, which is done just like that. So this block powers up, needs to do that, this does all of those. Then we do that, is make that slab. That goes down like so. And if you want, this might be cheaper now that I've thought about it. You can probably do that. Yeah, well, you can do that. Okay. Yeah, that's cheaper if you want it. Or you can put dust down there, repeater, but then that's slower. So that powers that, retracts. Yep, standard stuff. And then we might as well do this side at the same time. This, the side is powered by this piston with redstone block, and that gets updated by that. So click on that slab with dust. And now there's, wait, no. Never mind, you put a dropper hopper there instead. It's like the theme in this door, I'm just thinking of old versions. Dust down there, block, block, block. This goes into that, I think, yeah. Yeah, and you need a block there. This is actually on a slab. So this obviously goes down into here, up like so. These, that powers all of these, and then we've just got that left to do. Which, yeah. That basically means on the retraction it's sync. Yeah, which is quite nice. So that's the sides done. Now onto the bottom, which is orange. So the way bottom works is this one ticks twice from here. It goes into that. So this powers two, so that powers. And the way we get this to power is that goes down there. And that gets done like a slab. Then we link these inputs up with dust like that, except that's on a slab. Which means whenever this powers, this will power a view dictator, which is quite helpful. So I'm gonna make, that's the input to the bottom. Just for now, I'm gonna test with 2 layers because it's just a lot easier to see. We don't need any of those for now. So what this does is that's what it does, and then the retraction, all it does is that, and we use that extra 1 tick to do the double extension, and power the double with a 4 tick with dust hit block, 4-tick repeater. Just block, 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 block. And if we power this now, it does that. It doesn't do the extension, but that's just because there's a stack of blocks on top. And it does handy double. And then we need to get the last pulse, except it can only happen on the opening, because if we retract on the closing, it will retract these blocks down, and then these will push across, which obviously isn't what we want. So we need dropper hopper circuit, which means keep that on, make that a slab. We have that like that. Dropper, 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 hopper, unstackable in there because it needs signal strength to get down to there. And then we power it with torch like that. So I'll show you and then explain it. Nothing happens, you heard a click. And you get a pulse. It's a bit slow, which is annoying, but it's not like it makes the door much slower anyway, because... Anyway, so what happens is this gets here, this pushes across on open and close, that just acts as a hopper, kind of. Except we can't put a hopper here, because then the compactor wouldn't read it properly, because you need a container under the hopper. And this is the main bit. So, how torches work is if I have dropper like so, put an item in there, switch torch on, it ends up here, next time it goes like that. It doesn't go from here to being spat out, and that's nice and reliable. So the item starts here because that pushes it across, and then on the close this happens, nothing happens, and then this pushes across again, but there's nothing to push off, so it doesn't do anything. And on the open, this goes again, spits out an item, and activates the comparator. And now that I'm thinking about it, I could probably do that, and it would be quicker. Well, redstone on the spot. I don't know why I didn't do this. Well, maybe that's why. Oh, who knows? Whatever. Who cares? That is just like that, and that's what it is. So, once we power the double, what we need to do is one tick this once more, except there's quite a lot of delay because that puts out nearly 4-tick pulse. So we get that delay by using this monostable. That needs to be a comparator because then it goes through torches, which is quite nice. And that torch goes through like this, and you see that one ticks, torch one ticking because of targeting priority and stuff, I think. I'm not sure. And then the amount of repeaters in there, 4 tick and a 1 tick. This, if you want to be cheap, can be like that. And that does the 1 tick. And then what we need to do after is power this bottom line. After this is 1 ticked. So that's probably one of the only dead moves in the bottom, which doesn't do anything, but we need to 1 tick after, which we do by a dust line. So it turns out the monostable is there. We have that like so, and a 4 tick and 2 4 ticks. Lots and lots of delay. And I think there's a 1 tick. Oh no, no 1 tick. Rep. Lock that off. So, what that does is it pushes these up like that, and then what we need to do, 2 tick this, push in the storage, 2 tick this, or power that, which is what actually happens because of this. And then the tape goes. And that can happen on both edges, I think. So, this is starting on the green circuit because it's the quad. And we use a sequence where every time we power this, it 2 ticks that or pulses that twice. And one of those pulses is with a... How can I get to here? With a 2 tick repeater there, so obviously when we power that, does that, also does the retraction, and then we need to power it again, which we do with a dropper hopper, single item in comparator read through the block. Obviously the signal strength doesn't reach, so we do that. 2 tick. Which is very helpful, and now all we need to do is power this at the right time, which we power it with quite a long pulse of a 4 tick pulse. 4 tick, 4 tick, 3 tick. That goes up like so. Yeah. That should probably be white. So, yep. If we power this, that happens, except the top has extended pistons here which are removable, so it does not matter. Then we watch this. That pushes up, first 2 tick, that pushes across, and that gets powered like that. Second 2 ticks avoided because of this link up. And while this is extended, we power the tape, so these can't retract moving blocks. Speaking of the tape, we are now going to build it. Tape is light grey, so I quite like the tape circuit. First we have a torch here. Redstone block redirect so it doesn't clock forever. And yeah, then we have the tape. How we power the tape, which is done by the top of the door and a quite nifty dropper hopper circuit. 3 droppers like that. Hopper, container, dropper. You can't put another hopper here, otherwise you can have to... Actually, I don't know, but it's cheaper to do a container and it might be faster, which is needed. And then we have piston here, redstone block down there, and an item in the middle. So that gets powered by a 1 tick pulse, 3 tick repeater, and that. So it needs to get a 1 tick pulse, and this is 4 tick, so this extends just as that stops powering, kind of, I think. Yeah. And this powers 4 times, so this is 4 stations, kind of, because it uses this. Well, I guess we can try it out. First 1 tick, nothing happens. Second 1 tick, nothing happens. Well, okay, something does happen. And then 3 more, and it ends up. No, wrong. I did it too many times. Yep. So on the second pulse, it happens, and it ends up back here at the end of the door. And as you saw, that pushed off the redstone block. Then we use smart piston stuff over here. Dust there, which gets powered by a locked repeater with an item in. That powers that block, so that happens. And it goes through, powers this 2-tick, so now that happens. And the way we power this, well, there are two ways. There's the expensive way and the cheap way. And I will log on to Synergy to show you the old way, which is the cheap way, and understand this. So basically it's just a drop of a torch down there. Comparator dust, and this is the same. Green is way different, except tape on this is really slow. Over here I will use a slider, which means it's way faster and means it can be synced with the top, but also means the bottom had to go through a redesign, which was painful. But oh well. So we use a slider. Budded piston here, it needs to be budded, otherwise it doesn't work. And then we get our glass and solid block. Yeah, glass, solid, glass, 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 glass. Redstone block. This needs to be solid because there is a dust hit which is constantly powered, so yeah, you don't want that to happen. And we need a return piston, so we remove that. Does that, then we get a return piston. Yeah, except we need to obviously return this. This can be solid. All these can be solid, I'm pretty sure. The way we get the return is to tick like that. So now if you power this, it does the tape, which is not super fast, but it's way quicker than before. And then it stops at the redstone block. Very nice. Now we can do a proper test with the top. So we can test with the top, so put all the layers. Flick the lever. We have to close. Oh my goodness me. What have I done wrong? Ah, that's it. One comparator there. That's one thing. Okay, that needs to be a comparator because, you know, the torch comparator stuff. Right. And believe it or not, that breaks everything, it seems, including the side pistons somehow. So yep, that's that. Don't need that. Go again. Tape gets powered by this side at the correct time. The sides somehow fix themselves. Never mind. Ah, that's a 2-tick. There we go. Because that means these won't get 1 tick, which means that updated that stops working. So, we do it all over again. That pushes down, that retracts. Tape goes, as tape's going, the top. See, the sides are working properly now. And the top works with the door. Now I've just got the quad retraction left, which is apparently very smart, says someone. And the way we do that is with lime wool, because that is Well, we're not testing with our door. So let's only do 2 slices. Because it's less reset, yay. So, after the tape, we are in this position. Retractions, easy. Block here, dust, slab. 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 It could probably be a block. Just gonna use this as the input. That extends from that torch, and when the redstone block goes over it, it retracts. To do this 1 tick, we get a mono, which is then powered by this comparator. It's a comparator, so it doesn't read the 1 ticks when the tape's powering up into there, which then retracts that at the right time, and then we then need to 4 tick that, and this connecting pulse does the extension, which tracks that and tracks there, which I will build now. Start with 2 blocks like that, and that there. 4 tick comparator on subtract mode, which gives out into a 2 tick. Basically what that does is it gives out a pulse really quickly, and if we watch the tape we can see that perfectly. And then we need to 1 tick this bottom line, which is when we turn back into green. So break these, put a monostable item in 1 tick, like so, and what that will do is 1 tick that, meaning we can then push this over, the connecting pulse powers that, so we do that. But like these power these, so we'll push over while we do it at perfect time when these are still extending from that bottom pulse. So that gets powered by a torch. Never mind, there isn't a torch there. Instead, we have that. Well, fill this in. Go 4 tick, 4 tick, 4 tick, 2 tick. Get out somehow. And do that. Never mind. You can probably still do that, but it's not like that. I think I clicked on something. So that creates a repeater lock monostable. So that turns off at 4, 5, 6, 7, and that turns off at 4, 8, which means it unlocks, then switches on, which gives out a 4 tick pulse. So that creates a 4 tick pulse because that's 4 tick. So yeah, we can see this. Ta-da! Now this is quite a clever bit about that green circuit, is if we 2 tick this, does that, and as you can see, this pissing us, and then we can double pulse this and it does the whole retraction. Yeah, 2 tick, like that. And we get double pulse by this thing on the fauna hop I mentioned nearly an hour ago, or probably an hour ago. Gets put there, that switches off for a bit, which lets this burnout go on, forcing those twice. We power that with a 4-tick going up into a dust. 4-tick, 4-tick, 3-tick. Which means after quite a while of building, we have the whole thing. Don't know why I'm doing it in so much slow-mo. That goes up, gets 2 pulses, and retracts. Which means with about 5 minutes left until I have to go and watch something. We are done. Loads of air on the bottom. But yeah. It all works. Also, no cooldown because that's how slow the bottom is. And how fast the top is. And hopefully the top and bottom should be sync if I built everything to the correct timings, which I have. Don't need these anymore. The badly done materials list. Here you get some bricks. Bye, everybody. Time for me to eat my dinner again.